Judicial reform is a top priority right now for a lot of people in power at the South Carolina State House.
The governor, attorney general, and a number of lawmakers are calling for the state to change how it picks judges.
State House reporter Mary Green explains how the findings of a new report are now adding more voices to that call.
South Carolina is one of just 2 states where the legislature elects judges. Some lawmakers say if they're going to reform this process, diversity needs to be part of the conversation moving forward.
So the individuals truly believe, again, that Lady Justice is blind, that she's fair, that she's balanced. Because if she's blind and if she's fair and if she's balanced, then probability says it's going to be a reflection of the demographic.
Representative Ivory Thigpen of Richland County chairs the Legislative Black Caucus, which recently released a report on diversity in South Carolina's judiciary. It found the state's demographics aren't accurately reflected across the 158 judicial seats elected by the General Assembly. Women make up slightly more than half the state's population, but only a third of these seats. African Americans account for nearly 30% of the state's residents, but just 13% of the seats.
This is not a conversation about unqualified people getting put in positions. It's a conversation about being intentional in taking advantage of using the full scope and diversity of our state.
Thigpen, a Democrat, isn't the only lawmaker scrutinizing this. Senator Sandy Senn, a Republican from Charleston, was critical earlier this year when it became apparent the General Assembly would be replacing the only woman on the state's Supreme Court bench, Justice Kay Hearn, with a man, Judge Gary Hill. Hearn had reached the state-mandated retirement age for judges. Here's what Senn said on the Senate floor shortly before that election.
South Carolina is about to become the only state in the entire nation to not have a female Supreme Court judge, and that is embarrassing.
State-mandated retirement is also approaching soon for Chief Justice Donald Beatty, the only black justice on the current Supreme Court bench.
Let me guess. I know what this legislature is going to want to do. Let's get a black female. Check, check. 2 boxes. Then we'll be nice and balanced.
Senator Senn says she believes the root of these disparities is that the legislature itself isn't reflective of South Carolinians either, and they're the ones who pick the judges. For example, there are just 5 women in the 46-member state Senate. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.